guys. So, welcome to the Hooked It Up show. I am here live with my buddy Spud. Spud,
Hello.
tell me a little bit about who you are, what you do, and all that fun stuff.
Well, who I am, I'm Spud. Lived here in Heber for just about 4 years, a little over 4 years now. I am a youth pastor at MVF Church, kind of over on the northwest side of town. I get to hang out with kids and get paid to do it for a living. That's kind of me. It's great. I love it. I get to build a community where kids get to connect with each other and grow their faith.
That's awesome. So that's kind of cool. We both kind of build communities in different ways. You're building the church community and kids and youth, and I'm building a community with old people that run businesses. So it's kind of funny. And we've got some comments here. Oh, hey, hello. There's a hottie that we've got there. Can only imagine who that is.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
So let's talk about a little bit of our history and our past. We've obviously worked on some projects together more recently. You actually were sharing with me earlier about our first incident and how we met, which I was unaware of. I'm usually pretty aware of when I've met somebody, and I'm a person that never forgets faces. Once you started sharing the story with me, it did finally connect, but I was kind of doubting that you were even telling me the truth at first. You want to kind of share that story? And
So I remember the first time, like I may have said hi to you before this, because I've seen you on Sunday morning volunteering with church.
Yep.
But the first time I had a conversation with you was we're going to the ice castles, but for locals, they sell tickets early for locals, and you can go wait in line, really long line, to get a 50% discount on tickets.
Really long.
It's well worth it, but it's a really long line, and it was cold that day. And we finally made it into the building, and you were probably like 10, 15 people behind me, and I just recognized your face. Like you said, you recognize the faces. I recognize faces. I am terrible with names. I didn't know who you were. I actually leaned over to my wife. I'm like, honey, was that the guy that was working on the computer at the back of church on Sunday? And I remember her strictly saying, I don't know, go ask him.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. And then I walked up and I introduced myself to you, and I don't think we talked about much. At that time, I if I remember right, you had a little bit longer hair, a little bit shaggy hair, and I also had a little bit shaggy hair, and that is half of the reason why I remember seeing you.
Yep.
So
That's funny. So it's funny, when you first shared that with me, I'm thinking, I don't recall standing in the ice castles waiting to get in and admitted, and remembering running into you at all. And then when you mentioned the locals, that's when I was in the right placement and was putting it together, and I recalled that, and that's pretty funny. Still, I wouldn't have remembered unless you obviously brought it up to me, so that's kind of funny.
I'm mind blown that I remember that, because I do not have a good memory for stuff like that.
Yeah.
My wife tells me all the time that, hey, don't you remember this person? Like we went to their house and had dinner. I'm like, who? Don't even remember, but I remembered having a 2-minute conversation with you.
That's funny. Yeah, I remember faces really well, but when it comes to names, I'm terrible. Like I'm a hardcore introvert. A lot of people don't believe me when I tell people that. So when I usually introduce myself to somebody, I'm completely outside of my comfort zone, and I am not paying attention to at all what I'm even asking you. So when I go, hey, nice to meet you, what's your name? I'm like, man, I hate this. And then you tell me your name, and I'm like, what did they just say? I wasn't listening to any of that. So a practice that I've learned, and I don't know if this will help you at all or if you've even done this, but I still fail at it about 50% of the time. But say we meet, you tell me your name, you say Spud, I'm just magically going to say potato to myself 3 times. Associate it to something that you'll never forget the name, so on and so forth. So
I try that, but then I doubt myself so bad. There's
that problem
I'm going to use just a first name basis only. There's a kid, one of the students in my youth group. I can never remember if her name's Anna or Ava. And every time I get it right, but then I'm like, no, that's not her name. It's the other one. And I say the other one, she's like, that's not my name.
Wrong.
I literally had a 5-minute conversation in my head about what your name was.
So I've learned to always go with gut instinct. Anytime that I second guess myself and I go against that first intuition, I bomb it. I'm always wrong. Dustin says, "What's up?" Jenny Jones says, "Hey, Spud." So let's talk about some of our most recent projects working together. We worked together on a 9/11 Service Day project that you reeled me in on, and tell us a little bit more about that, a little bit more about a little more in depth in the things that you do within the community, and what you're a part of, and what roles you play within those different things in the community.
So yeah, on top of my role as a youth pastor, I'm also over outreach into the community. And this last year, I really focused a lot on first off, this is the first year I was kind of over that. So I just wanted to jump in head first just to see, throw it and see where it sticks and see what's actually working in the community for service and not only just service, but actually making a change in the valley. Because there's service projects that we can do all day long that help people out, but don't change the valley. But I think the 9/11 project, which was awesome. I got to work with Tom Gordon. He's the one who led it this last year. Super awesome guy. Loved getting to know him through that project. But we ended up putting together, I believe it was about 13 different projects. Each project had a varying amount of people. Some projects had 5 people at them. But then we had a great project at the city park that had like 60-something people at, which blew my mind. I didn't think that many people were going to show up. They didn't have that many people registered. But, man, people showed up. People of Heber Valley show up, and they love their valley, and they want to change it. So we put these projects together, just whether it was cleaning up brush around some widows' houses out in Daniel's area, at the city park. They dug around the trees, filled in the trees, made the parks look prettier. The project I led was up on Valley Hills. They've got city park there. I didn't even know. I moved into the area a while ago, and I didn't even know that was a city park. I thought it was somebody's backyard.
Right, me too.
But also, to come to find out, there was actually a full cement pad and barbecue pit buried in the brush there. And I mean, it's been a couple of years since that thing's been used. So we got a crew together and we cut all the brush down around it and made it safe for people to come and enjoy it with their families. And I know that's a small thing, but to the people that live in that neighborhood, some of them didn't even know that there was a barbecue pit there. And it's a great thing for the community just to work on the parks and have somewhere to go spend some time with your family.
Yeah.
But I got you roped in doing the website. That's how I got you roped into it.
Yep, you did. Yeah, you rallied a whole bunch of people. You rallied Dustin in some degree, and really rallied a lot of our local businesses, which was cool. And I think
Dustin was out at the airport. He helped paint the signs and hung a new windsock.
So I nominated myself a role of going around, since I was obviously in charge of the website. I kind of just jumped around, went from project to project, took some photos so that we could have those for the website, kind of promote the upcoming year so that we could get really aggressive for that one, which we will be doing again. So mark your calendars and put aside some time to make sure to get involved in those. But that was a really cool project. I stopped and saw Dustin doing his work, and then I came over to the city park and was shocked at how many kids were helping out, which was really awesome. And then I stopped at that one park and literally was watching them unveil the little barbecue area that no one really even knew it existed.
It is crazy. I think, man, some kids drug like half of a car into the bushes there and made forks. There's a trunk lid. I think like 4 or 5 car seats, like seats out of a car, not a baby car seat, like front seats out of a car, and kids were hanging out in these trees. And I mean, not only for the safety, I mean, I don't know what kids are doing in those bushes.
Shame on you. You should have told me. That would have been my little hangout spot. He had to go clean it up.
It's down at the dumpster.
All right. Well, there's that. So you mentioned obviously the 9/11 Service Day project. I know that you're involved in a couple other things involved in our community. I know you're being humble and trying not to tell us about all your endeavors, but humor us and tell us about some of the more things that you are involved in.
Another one of the big things that takes a lot of my outreach time is the Wasatch Community Foundation. It's a pillar. The pillar that I'm on is over housing, transportation, self-reliance. I always forget that fourth one.
Wish I could help you. I'm not involved enough.
I want to say it's food as well, but I think that one falls under the self-reliance. I should know this. It's terrible of me that I don't. But this last year, the pillars really focused a lot on the food, providing food for families in need. They help out with the backpacks that the schools send out. I know the Christian Center and the Community Foundation. Wow, not Community Foundation. The food pantry.
Food pantry. Yeah.
We get to work with them side by side with them. They're also in the meeting. The people who run those. So we get to support them a lot in the things that they do. The biggest thing that we've done more recent is we came with CCPC, which is Christian Center of Park City, their Heber location. We got to hang out with them and help them not only fundraise for their gift card. They do a Christmas gift card giveaway. Families, they get registered kind of through the schools. The schools help send out the notification, and then they go to the Christian Center and register. And any families that needed help with Christmas had an opportunity to register, and they get some gift cards. A lot of the cards that were given out was either gas cards. For middle school age kids, we were able to get work with Wigglish, awesome toy store in town. The middle school kids got a gift card to Wigglish so they could go buy a new toy. The high school, which I thought this is a super cool idea, I don't know who came up with it, they got gift cards to the One Stop, which who would have known? I didn't know, even though I have high school kids, that's kind of a hangout spot for lunch. Super convenient, so they got a gift card to go to there.
Cool.
And that's an awesome store. Love Muhammad. He's great in the community as well. So I'm sure he helped out there. And then the parents got gift cards to either Amazon or Walmart, just to also help just with the cost of Christmas and celebrations. It's hard, especially when you're struggling. And but what the foundation did is they came together with all the local areas, and I believe the Kohler Farms, I don't know what their official name is. The
Kohler Creamery.
The Kohler Creamery helped donate a bunch of cheese, and we were able to put together food bags, one bag for every child that was registered. We ended up making 1,200 bags, just over 1,200 bags of food. And the average weight of each of these bags was 25 pounds.
Yeah.
So we were able to give these every single kid in the family. If the person had 6 kids, well, we gave them 6 bags of food. And so in those bags of food just help. I mean, they're going on break here for a while. They're going to be on break for 2 weeks. And some of the kids in this valley, and it's a sad thing. We live in an amazing valley that's a very wealthy valley. But we gave out 1,200 bags of kids food that needed it for over the break. And it's a big problem here in Heber Valley. So that's why I love that one and love focusing on the food pantries and helping them out.
Yeah. No, I love that. I mean, so I think one thing that's neat is, obviously we go to the same church, which was mentioned earlier, but what I find that's really neat is, we're both very involved in the community, and we'll sign up not even knowing, that we're going to cross paths. And here we are popping up together at the same events. And,
well, I mean, the OCC Operation Hope are from CCPC. I didn't even know you signed up. And here I am, I'm there. talking to people, handing bags out, and waving people in. And my job was to direct people on which lane to come down. And I'm like, why is Josh showing up? I'm like, and here you are. You show up to, out of the 3 schools, you sign up for the exact one I was at. Too.
Right.
So
Right.
it was,
I know.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty funny. You probably thought I was coming to pick up some food for myself, huh? Yeah, really cool. I just love all the different opportunities, and obviously, MVF partners with that, which is why we both were able to sign up and work on that project together. Um, One thing that I kind of wanted to cover is, speaking of MVF, I know there's some upcoming events coming up. I've actually got a cool little slide for our Christmas Eve service. If you want to plug that, that's awesome.
Absolutely. Guys, we are doing Christmas Eve services at 5 and 7. I'm super excited for this. As of yesterday, unless something absolutely serious happens in the plans, we're doing it in the new building. Oh, it's so exciting. So exciting. But so there's a new building we are building. We've been working on this for a long time. MVF Church has been working on this since even before I came up here 4 years ago, and it's happening. There's a building there. If you guys drive towards Midway on Midway Lane, and you look out to the north across the fields there, and you see the new building, that is the new MVF Church building. And I am so excited, not only that I'm going to finally have an office. I mean, I've been working in the corners of rooms and on fold out tables and in corners for 4 years now. So selfishly, I'm super excited for an office. But for the community, I'm excited that there's going to be a building for people to gather in, to gather in and build community. And we're starting it right at Christmas Eve, 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock, 2 different service times.
Yep.
Celebrate the birth of the Lord, and I'm just pumped for it.
Yeah, no, I am too. I mean, obviously, we both this morning were finishing up some last minute things to get things going so that we could actually do our services in there. So it's really cool to just see, a whole bunch of members showing up, working, with their hands, doing different things. Some of the things that I'm really excited about, that I've had the opportunity of working with Patrick on doing some of the more electronic type stuff is, finding out that we've got that cool little cafeteria. And I know that we have a potential school that I'm pretty sure was approved not very far from that could be a great opportunity for kids to come over and grab a bite or something at the cafe, not cafeteria, pardon me. That will be kind of neat. Kind of excited to see what we end up doing with that, because I know there's been talks of us keeping that, open during school hours and stuff.
So yeah, that's one thing that also is going to be, it's a ton of work for me to get ready, and a big stress, but also something I'm super pumped for. We are going to be where the new high school is going. It is directly across the street from where our building's currently at. And yes, we are going to be open. We're going to invite kids to be there for lunch. Our cafe, we're not going to do nothing crazy, but pretty simple stuff. Some pastries, maybe small sandwiches and stuff like that. But also, I'm looking as a youth pastor, man, I'm looking, how do we reach these kids? How do we get these kids connected, right?
Yep.
That's my focus. And I'm looking at starting some seminary classes. I think I don't know of any, and I would love it for somebody to comment and correct me, that there is no seminary classes other than the traditional ones that Utah provides, with the demographics that we have here. I don't think there's any in the state of Utah, any other options for kids to go that aren't the typical culture.
Right. Yeah, not that I'm aware of. So that definitely would be something neat as well. Yeah, I just, I love everything that you're doing within the community, Spud. I mean, how long have we known each other now? Is it going on close to 2 years, I'd say?
Well, I think the year that we met at the Ice Castles, I wouldn't say we really knew each other.
Right.
That was about 4 years ago.
Wow.
I
That's
know, crazy. But I think there was about a year where we didn't really like, I'd see you and I'd just say hi.
Right, right.
But it's probably been about the last 2 years, 2.5 years that we've kind of gotten to know each other and bumped into each other doing other things, which,
Mm-hmm.
let's just be real. Most friendships today are out of convenience.
Mm-hmm.
But what's great is that we go out of our way to be able to hang out with each other now.
Yeah,
Um,
imagine that.
because yeah, I know, imagine that, crazy. But it's because we have so much in common with building communities
Mm-hmm.
and reaching out to our valley and trying to make an impact on Heber Valley.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm excited. If anybody's watching, if you guys have any cool, interesting questions for Spud, feel free to throw those out. Spud doesn't know this, but I did put a beautiful picture from when he was quite younger with him in
Oh my
leaning against his
goodness.
car right there. So he wasn't really expecting that, but we kind of dropped that. Literally was the only photo I could find online.
Well,
So
to talk about that photo, so I'm a youth pastor now, but during that photo, I did auto body or collision
mhm.
repair. I did collision repair for 14 years. And when I moved up here to the Heber Valley, I left a career of 14 years to serve my community, to
Mhm.
step away from. I know that was also a service role. I mean, and it truly was. I see people come in. I don't know how many different times people would come in crying that their car's wrecked. What's going to happen? They don't know how this is going to work out. We're like, hey, we're going to take care of it for you.
Mhm.
And that was a service as well.
Yeah.
But being able to set that aside and spend 100% of my time
Mhm.
on serving people and focusing on people and connecting people, it was awesome. It was definitely a calling from God, and I'm so excited about it.
Yeah.
But man, I love youth group.
Mhm.
But over the last year, being able to step into the community
Mhm.
and meet some of these people, I've met some people in the last year who live here 3 months, but then I've also known some people who are generation here.
Mhm. Mhm.
And get to see the different perspectives come together and being like, man, we all truly want to make Heber a
Right.
better place for each other, a safe place for people to connect, no matter what you think.
Mhm.
And that truly is. No matter what you think, Heber should be a place for you to come and enjoy and love.
Yeah. Well, and I remember when I first heard kind of your story about how you left, you were doing well and doing auto mechanic and, repair and all that different stuff. And I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, how does somebody go from that for that many years jumping into youth? And I'll be honest, I was a little skeptical. I'm like, who is this dude? And I remember talking with Shane once, and he's like, yeah, I mean, I wasn't like asking, validation, and having him speak for you or something, but we were just in conversation. And
So I'm just going to stop. I'm excited for this because you've never told me this.
I've never told you this.
I'm
Yep.
excited for this.
So I don't remember again how we even got on the topic, but I was like, "Where'd this dude come from?" And he goes, "Well, I've known Spud for years. I think you were at Center Point, right?
I was down in Provo, Center Point for probably about 12 years, helping out with their programs, their kids' church. I started in kids' church and then kind of graduated. My wife was actually the one who pulled me into youth ministry. I was in kids ministry and working with kids, which so in our church, kids are 5th grade and under.
Okay.
And I was working with them, being their storyteller. But then my wife kind of pulled me up into high school and junior high age, and I loved it. I fell in love with that age of kids because when I was that age, I had a rough childhood, and we can get into that more a little bit because I want to hear the story about you talking to Shane. And just to put it into context, if somebody's watching this that doesn't know who Shane is the lead pastor at MVF Church. He's my boss. He's the guy that gives us our mission and our vision and sends us out to make a difference in Heber Valley. And he's the one that inspires us all to do it here.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to jump around just a little bit, just because there's kind of a lot of stuff to unpack just within this, and I feel that it's all relative. But for one, tell us a little bit more of your history with youth, and you haven't mentioned anything about being a father of some kids, and I love kind of your story with that. So I don't want to obviously spoil it. I'll let you kind of share the the elements and the different roles that you've played in kind of being a father to your own kids. And
All right. So I have 5 kids. Um, the oldest is, I'm going to butcher this. Come on, guys. Give me some slack here. I want to say Quam. He's 22.
you know his name. That's good. At least you got that.
And I know his birthday. This is kind of unfair because it's only 4 days before mine. His birthday is March 1st.
Okay.
The only kid that I'll probably remember exactly. And then under him is Donald. I believe he's 21, 20 or 21.
I think he's 21.
I think he's 21. And then Audrey, she's still at home. The 2 oldest have moved out. They've got their own place here in Heber, doing well. They're young adults living in Heber, so it's a struggle, but they're doing good. I love having them home. But then Audrey, she's at the local beauty school. She's learning to do hair and nails, getting ready to go out into the big girl world and become an adult soon. School will be ending soon for her. She graduated from high school early, so she's able to start a little bit early. And then below that is Zoe. She's a sophomore in high school.
You're doing pretty good.
15 years old. Bugging me about a permit. So often, every day, I think I get asked about a permit. She's really involved in FFA. Has a horse, loves it. She is a diehard animal person. And then the youngest of ours is 11. He loves football, man. Wasatch football is his thing. He loves it. I had the privilege of being able to coach 6th grade football this last year on his team, and it was amazing. We made it to the championship game, and unfortunately, we came out on the bottom there. But man, the kids learned a lot this year, and it was awesome.
That's so cool.
But I know a lot of people are wondering, like, Spud, you look so young. How do you have a 22-year-old? Yeah, I know. I look young. Thank you. The 3 oldest I actually adopted out of the foster care system. The middle one was in our youth group down when we were in Provo. And I remember the day my wife came and said, hey, Donald got removed from his house. And then a couple weeks later, I was actually at the summer camp with a whole bunch of other kids, and Donald was actually there. And she comes up and drives all the way up from Provo, all the way up into Wanship, and asks, she's like, hey, Donald's gonna need a permanent home. It's the reconciliation with the dad and the kids. And she said, kids. The kids aren't going to work. And I'm like, wait, what? You said kids, plural. And at that moment is when I learned that Donald had an older brother and a younger sister. And she's like, they're looking for somewhere to permanent live. And I'm like, all right, let's try it. And I went from 2 kids at that time. I think Zoe was 11 or 12. She's pretty young, and Zayden, the youngest, was 7, maybe 6 or 7. So we went from having a 6 and an 11-year-old maybe to having a 17-year-old. It was a big adjustment, but such a blessing. I'm so excited to have 3 extra kids. I call them my bonus kids. Awesome experience. Wouldn't change it for the world. Even though some kids, you just want to beat them some days, but then you just want to hug them and say thank you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, that's a really cool story. So I obviously knew you had, adopted some kids, but I actually didn't learn that whole story until Thanksgiving this year. You guys were gracious enough to invite me over and have me over for Thanksgiving, and we had the whole family there, and it was good. It was good. Well, there's none left.
All right.
The ham's gone too, so obviously we did pretty good, or you did pretty good.
Yeah.
I did good eating.
I'm just tooting my own horn there.
Yeah.
First time I ever smoked turkey, though.
You smoking like cooking wise,
Yes.
Not because that'd be kind of hard.
You wouldn't like for some reason.
It just didn't work out too well. I love Lindsay had to correct you, or not correct you, but just to affirm everything. 22, 21, 19, 15, and 11.
See, I was right.
Yeah, I think you were. I think that was right. So I think she was just confirming there. So that's cool.
I could probably tell you 3 out of the 5 birthdays.
Oh yeah? Are you gonna put yourself on
No.
the spot? I didn't think so. Yeah, don't do that to yourself. Your wife is watching.
Yeah.
Let's see. So
Well, speaking of my wife, just you get to share space with her.
yes,
When your door of your office is open and her door is open to the office, you get almost eye contact. So
yes. It's funny. I think it's funny. So I think if we're not actually working or we're both very loud.
I was gonna wonder. I was gonna ask. Does she ever like when you're in a meeting just be like, "Shh, I'm sorry, sir," because my wife, I love her to death, but she is definitely not a quiet person. I'm not a quiet person either. I'm a super extrovert. When I walk into a room, people know I walk into the room.
Right, right.
But when my wife's around the corner, my wife's around the corner.
That's true. So it's funny, as you can see behind Spud, there's a wooden door, sliding door. We have there's a hallway and then another sliding door right there, and that's Lindsay's room. We will oftentimes leave both of our doors open, and we'll literally, if she just pulls back a little bit from her desk, I pull back a little bit from my desk, we'll have conversations across the room. But oftentimes we're so loud that we're interrupting each other's work. So we'll have to close our door. And then, even more so, honestly, the main reason why I close my door is you would think us having an office space here at Owinta Fireplace, and I know I say that wrong.
Yeah, completely wrong. Can you say it right just right now? Just practice it right one time.
Uinta.
Thank you.
Was that right?
Mostly.
Okay, good. That was really hard. Yeah, enjoy that one, Lindsay. Uinta Fireplace, man, that's a hard thing to just let roll out. We've got tons of fireplaces all over the place, but this office is freezing. It's insane. They've got AC, HVAC, all that different. It's the best, right? Yeah. It's so stinking cold in here that we've got to run our heaters. And the second we open up that door, as you mentioned earlier, woo, there's a serious draft.
Like I'm from Montana. I'm good with the cold weather. Completely good. I was sitting here, pull my jacket off. I'm like, holy smokes! There's got a wind on the back of my neck.
Yeah. Yeah. I suffered here for probably a month before I got a heater, and glad I got the heater because that's changed everything.
My wife must be way smarter because it was less than a week when she's like, "I'm getting a heater."
I don't think it was more than. I mean, that's not fair though. I was just procrastinating. But yeah, she did get one very quickly. I think I actually even traveled. Well, I didn't travel down with her to grab that, but we go down.
And yeah, that's ridiculous. It's a walk. You can walk like
I had to get a specific one that's really, really cranking. Your wife's one doesn't touch as good as what mine is here. I had to buy a top of the line one from Amazon that I knew for sure would keep this
Is it
big room. Yeah, I think it is.
I can't see it.
Okay, well, good, because then you can't tell me that it's not. If it's not, no, it was not. It took 3 weeks. I don't know. Well, I think that's even exaggerated. I think it was less than that. Because it only took me 4 weeks, so it's not a whole lot different if that's the case. You know what?
She talked to me about it from almost day 3 at least.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, I know she was in there freezing, and I was like, "You need to get a heater." So I kind of take a little bit of that credit there.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah. She totally needs a better one. Hint, hint. So yeah.
Hey, there's one under this desk that's top notch, honey.
No. I need to put a lock on my my little slider there. Okay, so I know we kind of rabbit trailed, which is great. I love that because it just makes things more entertaining. But we were covering the kids. We covered that. I pretty much finished Shane and I's conversation. I was just
all you said was I've known him for a couple years.
Well, that's kind of all he really shared. I mean, I just was kind of like, who is this dude? Where did he come from? And he mentioned that you had came from Centerpoint and was there for quite some years. Now, speaking,
I honestly think I got the job because of Shane's daughter.
Who?
So Hannah Finley.
Okay.
Now Hannah Price.
Right.
Married. She's still on my phone as Hannah Finley. Not changing it, Danny.
Good luck, Danny.
but she used to be my favorite Finley, and now she's a Price.
You
So
just said you're not changing it.
I'm not changing it.
So,
But Centerpoint and MVF Church would go to summer camp together. So I remember watching Shane's daughter grow up through, like, I seen her in junior high and high school. So I got to know Shane's daughter. And when I called Shane, like Shane didn't really know me a lot.
mm-hmm.
And I called Shane and asked, I'm like, hey, I'm going to be moving up to Heber. Is there, I want to get involved in the church. And his first reaction was like, who's Spud? and like he was talking to his wife about it, and Hannah heard from the back room, and she's like, you're talking about Spud? And I honestly think 100% of the reason why Shane accepted me up here and was like, gave me the time of day to even have a meeting was because of Hannah, his daughter.
Interesting.
Summer camp, and me getting to know her up there.
Okay, that's kind of cool because I didn't know that story, and that was something that I obviously was a little curious about, which is why, hence I brought it up. Because I was wondering, and this was just my assumption, was Centerpoint. I know that we sent our Mike Smith down there. I thought maybe there was some sort of connection there with him being involved down there. So
we just say it's kind of like Major League Baseball.
You guys switched up.
Centerpoint, we do a lot together.
It's true. Men's retreats.
Yeah, men's retreats, youth camps.
Yep.
I meet with their youth pastor 6 to 8 times a year, minimally. Mm-hmm. Good friend of mine. I've known him for many years. We're kind of an unofficial, official sister church. Mm-hmm. So we work tons together. But yes, one of the pastors, one of our campus pastors, ended up going down to Centerpoint to be the associate pastor, and is gonna end up being the lead pastor eventually down there. Uh-huh. And it was right about the same time that I came up here, so we call that the Major League Baseball switch.
Right, so, sounds about right.
And we do. I mean, our staffs, because we do so much together. Mm-hmm. Our worship director just got married, and the person she just got married to was going down to Center.
That's right.
Right. And now Canaan's up here, so there may be, we may need to start sending somebody down there. I don't know who it's going to be, but I definitely think we're going to have to send somebody down that direction soon. Otherwise, they're going to be calling and be like, hey, you keep taking people from us.
That's so funny. So I literally just learned that, I want to say, not more than a couple weeks ago, talking with Taylor. So that's kind of funny. I was like, wait a minute, what?
And just because I was down at Centerpoint for so long, Canaan used to be in my youth group.
Wow.
And now he's married to one of my, coworkers.
Right.
So it's funny, but my wife knew him when he was a baby. Like, my wife, literally almost rocked him in the chair, feeding him a bottle. That's how long we've known Canaan. So it's kind of cool to see the whole world, how it works, and how just our simple connections of being churches who work together create these awesome marriages too.
Yeah, no, that really is a trip. That's pretty cool. So let's see. I kind of had 3 different things rolling in my head at once, and then I was just so.
Well, the one thing I wanted to do though,
I
know you're gonna.
Oh no. Oh. All right, Spud. You need to stop coming around and ripping off my plastics. So I like to keep plastic. All right, confession time.
I about did this the other day, but I knew I was coming over here to record this, so I saved it.
Oh man, such a jerk. So I like to keep the plastic on things because I'm super OCD, if anybody knows me, and I like to keep things as nice as possible so they don't get trashed. And Spud just totally ripped off our little speaker that we're using, conference speaker for this podcast. He ripped off the little plastic piece. He's a jerk. Which reminds me, what was that? Just last Sunday, I'm working on the soundboard. We've got a brand new soundboard there.
That's the youth soundboard.
Right. So our current sanctuary is going to be the youth sanctuary. We're moving obviously into the big church, so the old part is going to be the youth area. So our big soundboard for main church has been moved into the main building or new building. And so we've been downgraded temporarily, or well, not temporarily, well, temporarily for major church, temporarily while we continue to do church in the old current
same
building.
system, just a little bit smaller.
Right. It's about a third of the size.
It's still amazing, Josh.
It is. Well, it's not like we don't use, we still, I think, are only using 2/3 of that board, which we were using 1/6 of, yeah, right, of the other board. So anyways, this is a brand new board, and I'm enjoying the plastic piece that's on the metal engravings of the, what is it?
The logo.
The logo, PreSonus.
Yep.
And then he just comes right up and pulls it off. And I look at him like, dude, like.
He actually doesn't even look. He just goes, and that's all I get from him. It's like, and I'm like, what?
I felt literally offended from him doing it.
Satisfied.
Oh, you did. The look on your face. I was like, dude, you're a jerk.
It was a sigh of relief. I went, look at that.
So it's funny. Even in friendship relationships, you still have to meet in the middle somehow, because one thing that satisfies him is the very thing that I'm like, man, I just want to strangle you right now.
And my meeting in the middle was waiting
for this whole time.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I'm glad I got your picture up there, because at least there's a
tit for tat.
Tit for tat, yeah. There was another one. So
where'd tit for tat even come from? Do you know?
I have no idea. It's the strangest thing, because I think of, anyways. So going from your picture and you doing that, let's just keep it going. I've always thought this was an interesting conversation, and you did finally clue me in on this, but I feel the rest of the world needs to know it, because everybody knows that your real name is not Spud.
Yeah.
Where did that name come from?
So the story I was told, I was born in 85. So
wow, we're in the same year? I didn't realize that.
37, turning 38 in March.
Okay, so you're older than me. Not by much, but, well, wise ass maybe, but okay. You know.
But so back in the early to mid 80s, there was this advertisement that had a dog, Spud McKenzie, Bud Light and Budweiser was the advertisement. Little dog, looks a lot like the Target dog now.
Okay.
Little bulldog, white or black spot on his eye. So my mom wanted to name me Spud because of that, because of Spud McKenzie, the party dog.
Interesting.
And my dad was a rational human being. He's like, no, you are not going to name our son Spud.
I would have thought it'd been the male thinking something cool like that rather than your mom.
Well, if you knew my childhood and a lot of my history, you would realize that my mom was a lot of the time irrational.
Okay.
But my dad named me my other name.
We're not going to drop that, huh?
No.
I'll leave it to you. I'm not going to do that to you.
I will.
I got your picture up. That's enough for me.
But I do have to say, so when I was down at Centerpoint, there was people I knew for over a decade. I'm talking like 10, 15 years that I personally knew, had dinner at their house. Like, I mean, they are on my Christmas gift list, not just the Christmas card gift, the Christmas gift, like beyond the box of chocolates, beyond the like, oh, I'm going to put some pretzels and this in a box and give it to you. Beyond that, like.
That's what I got this year. We're not beyond that yet? We're not beyond that yet?
Maybe after tonight.
Okay.
But beyond that, be like, we like are buying each other Christmas gifts, birthday gifts. Like, we are family. They didn't even know my real name. And I'm blaming this on Patrick. Patrick,
that's how I found out.
Ruined it. So when I first moved up here and I officially became on staff at the church, first like 4 weeks of me being on staff, he had my official driver's license name in the bulletin. And I've only ever been mad at Patrick one time.
I remember.
And it was that time. And it's not that my real name is a bad name. It's a great name. It's a solid name. I love the name.
Mm-hmm.
It represents, like, the meaning of it is truly super meaningful, and I love it. But I had friends that
Right.
that didn't know it.
You made it all this
I
time.
made it 16 years of people not knowing it. And it was always just a big thing, like the youth kids even. They're like, "What is your name?" And it was just always something like, "No, no, 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 no." Wouldn't tell him. And it kept him coming back. And I know that was just a small thing. But he put my official name in the bulletin for 4 weeks. And I finally, after week 3 of me asking nicely during staff meeting, I'm like, "You need to change this. I'm done." Like, I put my foot down. and I'm over it now, because I'm good with it. But my real name on my driver's license is Craig,
Mm-hmm.
which is a great name. I mean, Craig is a solid rock. That's like, when you look at the definition of what does Craig mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's a rock. It's a solid rock. And if that's who I am, I hope I am that person to people around me, the solid rock that they can rely on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm good with it. I love the name.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm curious, just out of curiosity, I mean, you say you love the name, but did you have some sort of affinity and dislike to the name, which is why you took Spud, or like, why did you take the name Spud versus Craig? Like, what's the real
Because
reason?
it's like a cool name. Like,
Okay, that's kind of what I thought.
cool. I mean, it's like, it's a unique.
Mhm.
I wanted to. I wanted to stand out and, like, be separated from the crowd, because even throughout my life, short just snippet. Man, in my teenage years, I went through a hard time. Man, addiction, drugs, just what that life brings.
Mhm.
All the stupidity and ridiculousness of that life. But even before that, I'm like, "No, I'm Spud. I'm cool.
Mhm.
I'm unique." And then, man, it just, I honestly think that could have just, that persona of me being something different, and not, "No, my name's Craig. I am the Rock."
Mhm.
I definitely think could have attributed to me being such an idiot and careless with my teenage years. But it just stuck. And now, it's great. I get to go out into the community now, and I'm like, I'm a long-haired, shaggy looking, you know,
Mhm.
punk kid that's doing his best to change Heber Valley.
Mhm.
With a really weird, awkward name. It's like, I remember Spud. I remember meeting Spud. Man, that kid is awesome.
Mhm.
And that's what I hope when people meet me, is that they recognize me, and they recognize that I truly care. Like, I may meet you one time, but I truly care
Mhm.
about what you're doing, and what you want out of Heber Valley.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I think that's one of the things that I respect the most about you, and having obviously having some older kids through a marriage, dissolved marriage, but nevertheless, you being involved in the youth with them, and I remember actually when I would take my son to youth groups, and this was when you were pretty new. I would sit in and kind of listen to you teach messages, and I actually you haven't heard this one either yet, so here you go for another one. I remember sitting in on one of your teachings. We were outside. It was starting to get cold, so summer was kind of fading away, but you were still doing teaching outside in the back of the church. And I remember you were doing a teaching on, let me see if I can even remember the teaching. I want to say it was a teaching on John, and I'm trying to remember the exact story. But all I remember is I remember you sharing the story in a very, very unique way that really was not a way that I would have shared it at all. But quite frankly, um, it's something that's kind of complicated to begin with. But the way that you don't take me for saying dumbed down, but you dumbed it down in a way
No,
to
I'm a
where
simple
you
like, I
can
understand
understand.
a hard time from from our senior pastor. He's like, he always makes fun of me because, like, even when I teach on a Sunday morning, my message is short and simple.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's
And,
actually
and
what
I'm
I
like, well,
enjoy
that's me.
most.
I'm a short guy, and I'm
Short.
short and simple.
Short and simple. But I just remembered hearing the message, and I was like, interesting way of putting it. But I noticed that, all the youth responded well to it. So I remember that being kind of one of the first moments where I was like, all right, well, maybe Shane's kind of right about this. I'll kind of just trust him. He is our senior pastor. But yeah, that was that's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much else. I just kind of want to wrap things up, and you know, um, I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate what you're doing within the community. I'm glad that I'm able to partner with you in any of your endeavors and support you in what you're doing, because I know that you're doing some big things within the community. Again, even with the Wasatch Community Foundation. I'm not really involved in that, and I know a lot of people have told me. I've actually turned everybody down, but if you were to, don't do it. I probably would. Um, but I just love, what we're doing within our community, what we're doing within our church, the relationships that we've been building. Kind of cool story is, I even met Dustin around the same time I met you. And here we are, how many years down the line, and we're doing so many different things within, our personal lives, within church, as family, doing things with our families together and doing things within the community and trying to make the community a better place here in Heber. Absolutely love it, and I'm glad that I'm a part of everything that's going on here. And again, anything that I can do to support you and what you're doing, don't ask me because I will say yes. And
Well, it's likewise. However
yeah,
you say that, man. I've really enjoyed. You've helped me push into more of the like being a part of the Chamber of Commerce and more of these like official meetings in the city. And you've pushed me into that. I feel at least, and I appreciate it. I mean, doing this podcast, man, this is great.
yeah,
I hope 1,000 people get to see this
mm-hmm.
and just see the fun that I'm a normal person,
Mm-hmm.
yet I love Jesus and I want to make a difference in our valley.
Yeah.
And I'll do it through connecting your kids, making a place for them to feel comfortable and come talk to me about the problems, because this world's got so many problems right now. I mean, you and me and everybody that sees this knows that this
Yeah.
world's falling apart. And man, if we can lean on a community and know that there's somebody there that truly does have their best interest at heart.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever want to. I don't ever see myself as a youth pastor be making tons and tons of money and having a mansion up on the hill and a helicopter and all these things.
It's probably not gonna happen.
My riches are going to come from knowing that I changed people's lives, knowing that I impacted the community I lived in.
Yep.
And a lot of that comes from my childhood of having a rough childhood, of having being addicted to drugs and seeing relationships and communities destroyed by drugs and relationships that are all about gimme.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want to be the person who people see and realize that relationships are about giving.
Mm-hmm.
Relationships are about serving others.
Yeah.
When you put others first, yeah, you'll be blessed through putting others first.
Yeah.
And that's and you do that so well as well.
I appreciate that.
Man, that's why you and I get along so well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Thank you for letting me be here tonight and
Yeah.
do the first podcast.
Yes. So confession. Spud obviously knows this, but no one else knows this. So let me share this. Most of you guys know, if you've been following the podcast and if you're watching it, you obviously know that this has been something that's been in the talks for close to 6 months and in the works for probably over 3 months. This room has a lot of acoustic issues, and I've had to do a lot to try to make it sound better. And even now, it does sound better, but it still could use a lot of work. Spud, what was it Thanksgiving that you gave me my deadline?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I said, hey, if you don't ever put a date on the calendar, this is me too.
I'll do it for you.
Being in especially a church ministry, I'm like, if I don't put a date on a calendar, if I have a mission and a vision and something I want to accomplish, if I don't put a date on a calendar, it's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I believe it was over Thanksgiving. I said, hey, we're putting a date on the calendar,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to hold you to it. I don't care how. And the other thing I also told him, like, sometimes you have to accept the C.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be A+ top quality lights and you know, as I walk in, the fan blowing my hair back, and I'm like, look at me. It doesn't have to be like that.
Done that. Why didn't we do that?
Episode 7.
We can edit it.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate the push, Spud. And again, I think one thing, just seeing kind of the bigger picture here, that I think is so neat within community and within fellowship is how, we're basically holding each other accountable, and that's what true relationship is about. Someone, falls short of doing something, me not, putting my money where my mouth is with making this happen, you holding me accountable and going, hey, I got a deadline for you. But not only did you hold me a deadline and say, hey, you better have your podcast doing, but you, as the servant that you are, you participated in it and made sure that you were part of that. And even this morning, coming up to me and me thinking that it was actually tomorrow night, remind me that it was tonight and showed me on your calendar, and I had to go.
That doesn't mean I put it on the calendar correctly. Just saying.
Possibly, because I swear I thought it was a Thursday night. But nevertheless, here we are, and we've done it, and we've almost hit an hour. Can you believe that?
That's crazy.
57 minutes. So I think you kind of had your last word, but if you've got one, feel free. Otherwise, we're going to close things out.
I think I'm all good.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys thank you for coming on the show, Spud. I'm
actually, last thing, you said this was hooked up or hooked it?
Hooked it up. Yeah,
hooked
it up show.
I thought this was about fishing.
Dude, that's what everybody thinks.
It's like we did not talk about fishing once.
And we're not going to. So, but what I do have is certain clips that are related to fishing that was actually going to be the way that I was going to bait you in for the show, but you already offered, so I didn't have to do it.
Fishing's my passion, if anybody wanted to know that.
Yeah, Mr. Ice Fishing at, 4 a.m. in the morning after Thanksgiving?
Yep.
Yeah, you're crazy. All right, well, say goodbye to Crazy, and
everybody.
Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have learned some stuff about us. Please follow Spud in all of his endeavors. If there's anything that you find interest in the things that he shared that you feel that you can volunteer for, Wasatch Community Foundation, 9/11 Service Day Project, we'll be working on that together this coming year. There's a lot of different things that we can do within the community to make this community greater. We're both trying to do our best with that, and the more people that can rally with us and support what we're doing so that we can support what they're doing and we can continue to make Heber a greater place than what it is. Hard to believe that we could even do that, but I know we can.
It's a beautiful place, man. We are so blessed to live in such a beautiful valley. I wake up some days and I'm just driving to work, and all you have to do is just look up and realize we're blessed.
Yep. We truly are. So again, support him in anything that he does. And if you guys would like to check out MVF Church, look that up, Google. You can find the address on there. We'd love to welcome you and have you guys, that's all we got. So
the last plug I have is my email is sbeckstrom@mvfchurch.com. Have any questions, comments, concerns, worries, or you want to get involved in something that we're doing here in the valley, let me know.
Awesome. All right. Thank you guys. And we hit an hour. Can you believe that?